What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new and you know who I am, welcome. I'm consistent across the board, guys. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule in marriage. And if you don't know what that is, well, stay tuned because you're about to find out. So let's go on to the video. Alright, so the 80-20 rule. Before I get into it, if you actually know what the 80-20 rule in marriage is, comment down below and say that you know what it is. And do not comment after I've told you what it is and you found out. That's cheating. Don't do that. But I'm curious to see how many people have actually heard of the 80-20 rule. So, the reason I want to talk about this is because it's regarding marriages. The marriage or divorce rate in the U.S. is roughly around 50%. To me, that is a number that just hurts my heart and it destroys me. But when you talk about the special needs community, the divorce rate skyrockets up to the 75 to 90 percentile, depending on how severe your situation is with your child. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not any of that. I'm just a parent who has 11 years experience. I've learned a lot over the time, and I want to help parents or spouses, specifically for this video, that are younger, that are starting a season. Just think, just get the brain going, because after the diagnosis happened, we all know a lot more stressors come into play, and that's why the divorce rate spikes when we're talking about special need marriages. So I want to do my part and help in any way possible, just to get people to maybe step back and think about things for a second. So the 80-20 rule, it's this. So I married my wife, right? I fell so hard, so madly in love with her by day 3. Ooh, it was good. Butterflies, I'm tingling, I'm in love after day 3. That's called the honeymoon phase. You fall so hard and heavy for 80% of them. You focus on that and you can't believe you found all these awesome qualities in one person, and you're going to spend the rest of your life with them. But what happens? Well, life happens. Kids happen. Things become mundane. Things becomes repetitive. Groundhog Day. So you have to continue to work on your marriage. If you don't, then the 20% kicks in. What's the 20%? Well, the 80% is the awesome stuff that you love about that person, but the 20% of this stuff is the stuff you cannot stand, and it drives you nuts. But at the beginning, the 20% is not a big deal. You're like, I love the 80. Who cares about the 20? I'll deal with that. But later in life, when you are going through the grind of marriage and parenting, that 20% gets flipped and now becomes the focus of your marriage and your relationship with your spouse, where all you're doing is focusing on the 20% negative stuff. Don't do that. You cannot do that. You have to invest, reinvest, and then reinvest again back into your marriage. And always remember, why did I marry that person? That's the trick. So then what sadly happens is when people do get divorced and we have this high divorce rate, the second marriages are even higher. It's a 75% divorce rate for a second marriage. And I don't even care about any of that. I'm not trying to talk about, I'm just trying to simply tell you about the 80-20 rule. So let's say a person leaves their spouse because they are just sick and tired of the 20%. Well, they go on and they meet a new person. And guess what happens? That new person does that 20% they couldn't stand perfectly. They do it so good. All the things they just dreamed and wished that the 20% would be gone and my spouse would do, well, now that new person does the 20%, guys. But guess what happens? Over time, when you start getting back into the mundane life, day-to-day, Groundhog Day stuff, you now realize you cannot stand 80% of that person, and who cares about the 20%? So, is the grass always greener on the other side? I don't know. But I do know the 80-20% rule is very real. If you think about it, and if you think about the person you're with, it is normally always true. It might just be a myth, but it's something I wanted to share with you guys today. If you're ever going through a dark phase or a dark season in your marriage, please try to remember that. Remember the things and the reasons why you fell in love. Do not get caught up in the heat of the moment and think about the 20% that I just can't stand no more. I'm out of here. Goodbye, Marty. No, I'm never leaving my wife. My wife's amazing. Yes, she has 20% that drives me nuts, but I have 20% that drives her nuts. But the point is to always focus on each other and get back to that 80%. So, there is the 80-20 rule. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I'm dropping knowledge today. That's it. I just wanted to try to help out any married couples out there and just get the wheels turning. That's it. That's all for today. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, check out all the things we got going on. I would love it if you subscribed and follow along in our family, and hopefully we can help, as our focus is always more so on the parents and helping them with their home, with their house, with their marriage, and raising their child. So thank you guys. Love you. We'll see you soon. Till the next video. 80-20. Boom.